welcome to the What's On podcast, where we talk about films and we discuss films and we review films. As usual, I'm Billy Ray.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Tom.
And today we're talking about The Incredibles 2, just recently seen. Got a little plot summary from IMDb here, as always. Well, as always, since like last week. While the Parr family has accepted its collective calling as superheroes, the fact remains that their special heroism is still illegal. After they are arrested after unsuccessfully trying to stop the Underminer, their future seems bleak. However, the wealthy Dever siblings of DevTech offer new hope with a bold project to rehabilitate the public image and legal status of supers, with Elastigirl being assigned on point to be the shining example. Now, having agreed for now to stay at home to care for the kids, Mr. Incredible finds domestic life a daunting challenge, especially with baby Jack Jack's newly emerged powers making him almost impossible to manage. However, Elastigirl soon has her own concerns dealing with the menace of a new supervillain, Screenslaver, who is wreaking havoc with his mind control abilities.
And breathe.
That's actually a lot easier to read in my head than out loud. So that's the basic... Oh, for God's sake.
The basic.
That's the basic plot summary of The Incredibles 2, which we just saw last night. I really like this film.
It was good.
I gotta be honest, yeah.
I really like this film as well. Very, very funny. Jack absolutely stole the show. But he was always meant to, because he kind of did in the last one a little bit as well. Like that little Jack short that they did. Which actually, I'm sorry, before we actually get into The Incredibles 2, can we please have talk about the little short beforehand? Because it was really peculiar, but I really, really liked it, and it made me cry. I cried about a dumpling man.
Yeah, as always, there is a short film before the main feature in a Pixar film at the cinema. And in this one, it was a short film called Bayo, about a Chinese boy who makes some dumplings, and then
There was a woman.
It's a woman.
Oh, was it a woman?
It's a woman.
Oh, okay. So
It was a
Chinese
representation
woman
of her son.
makes dumplings, and one of them comes to life, which was very peculiar. It just suddenly starts crying, grows some arms, and then it ages and moves out with a woman, and then comes back as a human.
Yeah, it's weird. And she eats her dumpling baby.
Yeah, that
and
really
then
disturbed
gets really
me.
depressed.
I thought it's about a woman who has a kid. Obviously, she and the kid are close. She's always trying to, support it and love it. And then the kid grows up and goes out. And I think it was just weird when she ate the dumpling boy. But I think that was maybe a metaphor for she said something she didn't want to say. Because obviously then she started to cry. Oh my God, when she's like crying in her bedroom. And I'm like, oh my God, there have been so many times where I'm doing that exact cry, that exact position. We've all been there.
I couldn't get emotionally invested. It was just too weird and disturbing for me.
Mate,
especially when the dumpling suddenly was wearing glasses and had chin hair, and I was like, oh my God, a dumpling's going through puberty.
That was when she made all that fucking food for him, and he comes out and he's like, yeah, I'm going, and he's like, but she made all the food.
It was weird.
You would never say no to somebody with food.
No. If me and my mum had a big argument, and then I just came out of my room and she had just cooked all this amazing food, I'd be like, right, I guess we're on talking terms then.
Imagine how much of that would go to waste though.
Not enough.
You wouldn't be able to fit all of it in the freezer.
You need
Put
to
it in my
freeze it.
mouth.
Yeah, I've got a stomach. Like,
Damn. Good point. Yeah. So that was Bayo. I think it was called Bayo.
I really liked it, but I was very emotionally invested in a very short amount of time.
that could be Bao.
Bow.
Could be Bao. Pixar makes some cool shorts. I'm trying to think of other ones. There was one with the toy cleaner guy from Toy Story. He had a short film at
The
one point.
Birds is good.
Well, is that the one where there's the big ugly one? They're all on the line,
Yeah.
and the little ones don't like him.
One of the originals from Bug's Life where he's playing a game of chess against himself.
Oh yeah.
That was
and he
really
pretends to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
I really liked that one.
That was very
That was
funny.
really cool.
Anyway, Incredibles was incredible in my opinion. It was really, really funny. It didn't have enough of Edna Mode in it to my personal liking.
Yeah, but she's not relevant.
No,
I get that she's a really good character, but does she add much?
I thought she did. I thought she was a really funny character in the first one. I just personally really like her, and as I was going to say, there's lots of characters in there, and she isn't a particularly relevant character, so she didn't even have to be in it at all. I just really liked her and would like to have seen more of her. Plus, what we did see was absolutely hilarious.
That's the beauty of Edna. They'll just show you like a little snippet just so that you want more. That way she doesn't get boring. I think. She's also voiced by the director Brad Bird, by the way,
Which
as well.
blew Tom's mind this morning because he thought that the voice actor had died. He was like, the voice actor, she died. And I was like, what, Brad Bird?
So different.
Really?
Yeah, the voice sounds different. I don't know if it's just because it's been a really long time since I watched the first film, but it just sounded different to me.
Oh.
My ears have aged like 15 years since then. So.
Yeah, it's been 15 years. It's taken that long to make a sequel. Apparently Brad Bird himself said that he didn't want to make another one unless it could be as good or better as the first one.
He did a good job.
But it took a long time. As it's the biggest length between a sequel for Pixar, with Finding Dory being a close second.
Yeah, Incredibles was out before Finding Nemo, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, it's such a long gap though. Kind of wonder was there any point in releasing it? Well, it was really good.
I mean, there's a big gap between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3.
Yeah, there is, and they're making a fourth one as well.
Yeah,
that comes out next year.
They don't fuck about. They just make movies when they need to make movies. They make movies when they've got good ideas for it. So I think that's the good thing about the studio. The shittest thing they did was Cars.
Yeah, that got a sequel.
That got Cars. That got Cars 2, and that got Planes.
Whenever Cars sequels came out, or whenever any sequel came out, I would always just be like, can it be The Incredibles 2 next, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a good sequel. It wasn't like Mulan 2.
Yeah.
Hey, Mulan 2 was not that bad. Alright, I don't like it when people shit all over it. It wasn't that bad.
I'm sorry, I didn't like it.
It had some good songs in it. And those sisters were going to be sold for the good of the country. Oh, it was... No, I'm not going to get into it. You're going to make me mad.
I'm sorry. I didn't even finish it. I didn't like it.
See, how can you comment on a thing? You didn't even watch the whole thing.
Because it was that bad. I'm sorry. I didn't like it.
The Incredibles, before we get into just this whole Disney Pixar swirl of things.
There's one thing that I noticed about this film, which they've done in Batman vs Superman. Sorry to bring it up, but they did do it in Batman vs Superman.
Hey man, you're the one that hates that film.
Yeah, I hate that film. And they also did it a lot better than Batman vs Superman in Civil War, where they actually reflect on the collateral damage that the superheroes are making.
Yeah.
Which they never seem to do in films.
Well, they do in... yeah, I think...
Obviously they're doing the original Incredibles as well.
This is true, because it's literally just the original Incredibles, Batman vs Superman, because obviously Batman's going after Superman for destroying the city.
Civil War.
And Civil War, because of the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, they actually make laws. This feels very much like Civil War, with all the laws against like superheroes and stuff because of all the collateral damage. Because they're just causing so much damage and people are just like, I am sick of this shit.
Yeah.
Because in real life, if superheroes existed, and it's like, fair enough, you're saving us from destruction, but you're also like breaking our houses and our buildings.
And ruining people's deaths.
It's like, Superman, do you really have to throw a car at my house? Was there no other way?
Yeah, did you really need to throw a car at that bad guy, or could you have just grabbed him and flown into space and waited for him to suffocate?
Right? Couldn't you just grab him and laser his eyes out? Well, actually, that wouldn't have been very Superman-y, would it?
No, it would not be very Superman-y. He throws cars at people. Like, the dude's a dickhead anyway.
Yeah. I like that it was a plot point, though. Seems like a social commentary on superhero films a little bit. With the mass, like, superhero... the rebirth of superhero films these days, because there's like 3 a year now. There's a lot of damage going on in those films. Like Captain America didn't care about it, he just carried on, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't give a shit.
And he's still just like...
We're still not talking about The Incredibles though.
Sorry, it's just this particular plot point of The Incredibles. They've actually made a really big deal about it. So being super is illegal because of the public's perception of them.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting.
I think it was nice that they came at it from all different sides as well. So you have it from a parental point of view. So I know Bob's trying to actually be selfish, and he's like, I need you to go and do this superhero thing so that I can eventually do it. But he does have a point when he's like, you're not letting our children have the choice to be who they are, because at the end of the day, Dash can move at an amazing speed, and even if he doesn't want to be super, but he wants to run as fast as he can to the bloody shop to get some milk, he can't do that under these laws. But he has the ability. Violet technically cannot just go somewhere and be invisible. Even though you wouldn't be able to see her, it's still illegal. You've got to give her the choice to do it. And that leads a lot onto, where they're questioning the law as well. So it's, the law is stupid. So there are laws in place to try and change that law, and that's how you should go about changing the law. And it's all about what is illegal isn't necessarily wrong.
Yeah, I mean, alcohol was illegal in America.
Yeah, and during Prohibition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and now they all love it. But it used to be really illegal. So, like, laws can get changed. Be changed.
That is a really
Get
good point.
changed.
And you can change laws back as well, because obviously
Yeah.
alcohol was legal, it was made illegal, and then it was made legal again. So,
Yeah.
you know, you have the ability to... Just because it's now illegal doesn't mean it's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, laws can be changed and reversed. That's something that I actually really loved about this film, is that even though it is primarily a kids film, they know that their target audience also involves adults, because adults are going to go to the cinema with their kids, and we're going to see this film. So they don't pander to the kids with the writing, so it's very political still.
No, but that...
Which I appreciate.
That being said, I still can't believe some of the stuff they got away with.
Yeah, they throw
A shit in
shit
a PG.
in a PG. They don't drop the T, but you hear the shit.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what you meant, and I was like, when did someone? Oh.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
can you drop... And the amount of craps that Helen said, just crap, crap, crap. She was just saying crap all over
She
the
says
place.
crap in the first film as well, but I think it's because crap isn't really a swear in America.
Really?
No, yeah,
Okay.
it's like I could probably say bum in front of a kid loads in England,
Yeah.
and they'd be fine with it. But if I went to America and started saying bum, they'd probably be like, "Oh, you can't say that."
No, I like Jack Jack. I found it a bit... I love the fact that he has basically every power in the book, but I also find that slightly ridiculous. I mean, I was buying all of it. I was like, yeah, until there was a moment when they were in the air duct, and Violet and Dash, obviously they're on the boat, they're trying to get their parents, they're trying to keep Jack Jack quiet, and he just expands to this amazing size of this giant baby, and that's the moment where I was like, right, this is getting ridiculous. And I almost had a moment when he turned to rubber as well. I was like, oh, this is just getting ridiculous.
That was the moment. Well, I think they do say in the film that babies can have multiple powers. Obviously, he's still like a special case.
I don't think they did say that. I think Edna said this was the first case that she's ever seen with someone with multiple powers.
Yeah, she said she'd met people with 3 or 4, but not up to 17.
Yeah, exactly.
And counting.
Exactly. But I find it funny that you found it ridiculous when he was expanding. That's when it got ridiculous for you.
Yeah.
Not when he was like fighting the raccoon.
No, that was funny.
You know.
That was really funny.
He made shadow clones of himself, and he can pass through into different dimensions.
Yeah, but he was doing that before. I knew that he could have more, but it was just, it felt like they almost put that in there, not because he's actually got that as a power, but as a plot point to get them out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think that is the purpose of Jack Jack for most of the movie.
What plot convenience?
He's really convenient to the plot. So near the end of the film, so Elastigirl, Mr. Incredible, and Frozone have all been captured, and they've had these special like goggles put on their faces, and Jack Jack just moves it very slightly off of Elastigirl's eye, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, like if the writers ever get stuck in a situation, they're like, "Oh, what do we do?
We can make him expand.
Just make him go really big." They're just throwing Jack Jack things at the wall, and they're all sticking. They're just like, "Yeah, that'll do."
I like it when they took him to Edna, which actually she there is a massive plot point, because she is the only one who can. They don't know how to control him, and she's like, there is no point controlling him, but there's a way that you can alert yourself to what to do with him next. So she puts that foam stuff in his the controller, and the foam stuff. So when he turns into what she likes to recall as Fire Demon Baby, if you try and reward anything with cookies, it explodes on him, and it's edible, and it's fun, and it's, they needed her in that moment to come up with something to help, and she only did that in a night. 17 hours.
Yeah, she's amazing with what she can do with her suits.
It was also very funny as well, obviously, when Bob comes home. I found that a really funny line, and really touching as well when he turns to Violet, and Violet's like, "Where's Jack Jack?" And he's like, "I left him with E." And she's like, "You left him with Edna, and you think that's a good idea?" And he's like, I don't, yeah.
For some reason, I do.
For some reason right now, I do, yeah. And then he turns to her and he's like, "I just wanted to be a good dad," sort of thing. I found that really touching. Yeah, I thought that was really sweet. He was
struggling in that film.
He was struggling really, really hard, and he was trying really hard as well. Sort of was a bit of a comeuppance though, where I knew he thought it was going to be easy, and that he is getting upset that he could do a better job than Elastigirl, when actually he can't, because he has more damage than anyone else. Like, he is a clumsy guy. Don't you remember in the first one where he accidentally breaks into the jeweller's thing, and Helen's like, "You knocked down a building?"
Oh yeah, but that was to escape a burning building.
I know, but
whilst carrying.
I know, but Elastigirl takes a
man.
moment to think. Like when they're dealing with the Underminer, and she's not right. How can we push and shove and move this? She's thinking, right, I'm going to wrap myself around the engine and try and strangle it, so it just stops. Whereas he's coming up with throwing shit and.
Yeah, he's a bit of an ignorant blockhead, really, isn't he?
He does come at it full force and doesn't just take a second to think. Which is why they chose her originally, to head the whole thing.
I found him mostly quite annoying in this film, as I did in the first one as well. Thinking about it, he's just such a moaner. He's always moaning.
Yeah, but imagine if you had this amazing gift, and the government turned around and went, "You can't use it."
No, but it's just the way that they pick Elastigirl, and he's like, "Oh really? Oh, not me."
Yeah, that's
so annoying.
Yeah, but
like,
then
get
again,
over yourself.
They're trying to put it back to sort of what it was 15 years ago, and then I think you said they're in the 60s as well.
Yeah, they're in the 50s, 60s, I believe.
So it's they're meant to have that sensibility, really.
Of like men before women type stuff.
Yeah.
It's very in keeping with the time period.
Like he was even offended that she suggested that she might go and get a job because she knew he'd be miserable working and she'd at least give it a crack, and he's like, no, I'll do it, I have to do it, sort of thing. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with staying at home, particularly if your son can float through walls.
Yeah.
Like
that kid doesn't need a babysitter.
No,
that kid just needs food and water. He'll be fine.
Can't let him go rampage on his own though, that baby's dangerous. I mean, he can turn into a demon, he can turn into fire, he shoots lasers. It's not what you
no
want.
idea what was coming.
I loved that scene. That was my favourite. That scene actually made me think, is it just like a genetic thing where all people with superpowers become superheroes? Is it in their blood to fight evil? Because he sees this film where there's a robber breaking in, and then he looks over at the raccoons stealing from their rubbish, and it makes him so angry.
No,
and
it's because he sees the bandit mask.
Yeah.
So
it's like it's within him that he has to fight it.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's genetic, because all the superheroes do have powers. I mean, in the first one, obviously, Buddy tries to do the superhero thing, but it doesn't work, and then he just becomes a villain.
Maybe there's something inherently in these people that actually wants to be a good person. Yeah, I could get behind that. What I did find funny, actually, after they had the raccoon fight, and Bob's obviously discovered that, oh my god, Jack has powers. He's moving him around like a toy and being like, not a scratch on you, like, like he's dropped his phone or something. Like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Jack was the best part of this film for me.
Absolutely.
I feel like if he wasn't in it, like his funny moments, the rest of the film, it still would have been really good, and I probably would give it a high rating. But because of all the Jack scenes, I'm gonna give it an even higher rating because
yeah,
it's hilarious. Especially when they start shooting him like a gun with his laser eyes.
The thing is, as well, I know obviously that he's a baby and everything, but they did get to a point with his powers and stuff. I'm like, why are you worried about Jack? He's fine. He can very much take care of himself.
It's the rest of the world you need to worry about.
Yeah.
Since he's shooting lasers, he's going to be a nightmare in school.
And I know they're going to try and teach him to control his powers and everything, but they already work reflexively to save him. He's fine. He can do everything.
He's going to be a mess when he goes through puberty.
Oh
he still has all those powers.
It's just when he was sneezing and flying up into the air, and then a portal to the next dimension would just like, cookie, cookie.
It's so funny. And he just laughs at everything.
He is so joyful.
Nothing makes him sad. He's better than the baby from Cargo. I hate that stupid baby.
No, that baby was chill.
That baby was drugged.
That baby was chill as fuck.
No, I prefer Jack. Jack's my favourite baby in a film that we've seen so far for this podcast.
Fair play. It's not much competition. It's the baby from Cargo versus Jack.
Go on, Jack. Jack would win in a fight.
Oh no, there's the baby from Quiet Place, but he didn't really do very much. He just,
the baby
got
in a
burst.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Second favourite baby.
Ahead of the baby from Cargo.
Yeah, she was shit. She was a terrible actress. Back to the incredible.
Top 10 babies list.
They are so cute from a reasonable distance.
Sweetest little thing. Oh, I just want to dunk him in my coffee. Julian, what are they? What are they?
Talking about the film in general is, it's very good. It's definitely one that I think you should see. Like,
bit disappointing, as we said last night, about they followed the same trope as last
Yeah,
time.
it's the exact same.
I was just going to say, we've spoken a lot
construction.
about what we've liked. So now let's get nitpicky.
Okay, I didn't like the plot construction because it was the exact same from the film before.
Yeah.
Person who you think is a good guy turns out to actually be the bad guy.
To the point where when they came on screen, I turned to both Tom and Billy and went, "That's the bad guy."
Yeah, I said that to you as well. I was like, it's her.
It's
Yeah.
predictable, very predictable.
Because...
But it's a children's film.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, good point. But you just kind of knew with the whole backstory of what happened to her dad and how he tried to call the superheroes when his house was being robbed.
Yeah.
And the wife was saying, let's just go hide. We don't have time for this. And,
Also, it's America. Shoot the guy. Come on,
Yeah.
you can do that.
So the brother was saying that, we should have superheroes because superheroes could have stopped this. And her point of view is superheroes make us weak and we shouldn't have to rely on superheroes because then if we didn't rely on superheroes, Dad would still be alive.
And he strongly disagrees, but there's no time for
I
that.
strongly disagree. And yeah, she's so nonchalant for like so many of the conversations that there's just something eerie about her. She just kind of screams that she's gonna plot twist to be the villain.
And can I just say, lazy animating, because has anybody seen Mastermind?
Is that
You
the
mean
one?
Megamind?
Megamind,
the
sorry.
alien
Yeah.
head guy.
Yeah.
Is a villain.
Megamind.
Megamind.
Like, she was basically a scruffier version of the reporter that they had in that. I'm
Yeah.
really sorry, Incredibles. That is lazy, in my opinion. As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh my god, I've seen this chick before.
I've seen this animated chick before.
Yeah.
That's quite funny.
Like, I can't...
Animation wise though, obviously it's been 15 years and the animation's gotten a lot better. Like,
Yeah.
there's just a lot more subtleties to the characters which really bring them to life more. Like all the hair is improved, and Mrs. Incredible, especially Helen, has a lot more features on her face which really kind of reflect her age a bit more. She looks a bit older.
Same with Bob, yeah, I agree.
She's got a few freckles, a few lines on her forehead and under her eyes a bit. She's a mum, so naturally she's got 3 very young children. So yeah, there's a lot. Also, the lighting. The lighting was beautiful.
It was really good. They did very well with their lighting effects in the film. From the first scene, I think it's the interrogation scene, where he like flashes the light up and then moves it. Like I actually felt like I was being interrogated for a second.
Yeah.
That's
It's
good.
very good. And then when Elastigirl is in the screenslaver's room, big LED box thing, and it starts flashing up the shit.
Oh yeah, in the flat.
Yeah, inside his apartment.
That was a creepy scene.
Yeah.
That was the most tense I have felt since A Quiet Place. To be
It
honest,
was pretty tense,
it was
wasn't it?
really intense, especially when she walks into the room, and his face is just in the background in the darkness. That really booked me out. But yeah, lighting was brilliant. One standout scene for me was when she's riding her motorbike to try and catch up with the train. I'm fairly sure it must have been happening during a sunset or something because it was very orangey.
Yeah.
And it just looked really beautiful.
You did look nice.
I liked it a lot, and it reflects off of her gingery brunette hair really well as well.
I think she is meant to be gingery brunette because
She's-
Jack's ginger.
She's ginger. Yeah, she is ginger.
So that lighting works really well with her character.
Why the hell has Violet got black hair?
It's dyed, man.
It
It is.
You think so?
No, it is. Yeah, she's there. I think the whole thing is she's supposed to be like goth, isn't she? In the first film, she dresses in black, hides her fringe over her face.
No, that whole thing was because she feels invisible as a teenage girl,
which
and
is a
that's
very
her
goth
power.
thing.
Yes, I know it's a very goth thing, but I just okay, fine.
What's your
Mum's ginger, Dad's got blonde hair. Of course, her hair is dyed. I reckon she's got to be either ginger or blonde, right? Naturally, so probably ginger. It's 50s. I bet ginger's got bullied all the time.
You get bullied now.
gingers have always been bullied?
Something I did like as well, to get talking about the anime, is when the water came out of her nose when Bob took her to the restaurant to meet Tony Ridinger because obviously he'd forgotten about her and oh dear.
She was wiped from his memory. That was so sad. Violet got some real great character development in this film. Like everything involving Violet was really good. It just reflected those teenage years that we've all gone through so well.
I felt bad as well because I didn't quite understand what had happened at first when she was crying by the big window and Bob comes over and he's like, what are you still doing here? And Tom turned to me and went, oh my god, Bob forgot to take her to the film. I was like, no, I don't think he showed up.
I said he didn't show up.
Oh, right. But yeah, I thought it was really sad.
It was really sad. I liked the little bit of school drama they had though. You know, just like this girl really likes someone whose mind's been erased. We've all been there. And then she gets embarrassed in front of him and squirts water out of her nose. she
That's a common thing.
But also when she talks to him and she just makes a fool of herself every single time.
Yeah.
Like the first time he doesn't know who she is, so she just sounds like really crazy. And then the second time when she goes to introduce herself and he's like, aren't you the girl from the restaurant? And she's just like, Violet!
Aren't you the girl with the water?
That was
That's
it.
what he said. Violet! My name is Violet.
Poor Violet. Yeah, all of the characters reflected their age really well. So the characters were
The characters felt like they had more character.
Yeah.
I actually, except for Dash remained relatively the same for me.
Yeah, but I still felt like he had more character.
He's a 7-year-old boy.
Yeah,
you know.
7-year-old
He's
boys
just
don't
acting
have
like a
lot of
7-year-old boy.
character.
No,
But he felt more like a 7-year-old boy in this film than he did in the previous film.
They just have these little quirks which really reflect them nicely. Like just when he's playing with the control, he's just pressing all the buttons and then it starts to go wrong and he's trying to make it right, but he's just pressing more buttons.
Yeah.
It's
and
the
ground is opening up and the sofas are breaking.
Look at my beautiful car, and Bob's looking at him like, whose beautiful car? And when he sees it on the thing, he's going, that's my car! It's like, they said it was broken beyond repair! Like, I thought it was really funny, and it's where you get a moment between a father and a son of the son would love to have been what the father was.
Yeah.
But the father still wants to be what he was, and you have this connected moment of outrage.
Life's not fair, yeah. Both of them are like angry about the whole situation.
Yeah. And it's very funny. And then they're fighting over the remote, because obviously he's still bloody got it.
Yeah, I really like their family dynamic. That is a really good thing about these films. If they do another Incredibles film, I actually want to see them working together more, not just at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Like more throughout the film, because at the beginning they all mostly work together to stop the giant drill, and then of course they work together at the end to stop Screenslaver. And I want to see more of that. I want to see more of them, you know, combining all their powers and working as a family, working as a team. Because they've got a great dynamic, especially when they're fighting together.
They've never really had a threatening bad guy in The Incredibles, though.
No, not
Neither
really.
of the bad guys are really that threatening, if we're being honest.
I mean,
I don't know, Buddy
what
was
Syndrome
pretty
can
threatening.
do.
Syndrome eliminated majority of the old ones.
This is true, right? But
His character's not very threatening,
he's not
but
very
what he can do is very threatening.
Yeah. They need like a Thanos, mate. Like, just Thanos' presence is threatening.
Alright.
I
It is
feel
a
like
kid's film,
yeah,
but
their
alright.
lack of a serious villain is quite endearing though. Like it's like the world isn't ending. It's just very small, more contained villains.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice once in a while.
It seems like they only affect the city, like Batman villains.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a Spider-Man Homecoming over a fucking civil war. Like sometimes you don't want the world to end.
This is true.
You need a bit smaller, more contained.
You just want the tri-state area endangered.
And again, all the baddies are always regular humans. The super people are never bad guys.
Yeah, they need a superhero that's decided to go bad. That would be interesting.
That's why in this world, I feel like it just must be within in their blood, in their genes, that they fight evil because of who they are.
No, I would agree with that. I could 100% get behind that. Cause
They're definitely not a human then, right?
I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, like, you give a human all of that power.
Oh, I see.
Like, you give me Mr. Incredible's powers, oh my days. Most of the banks in Canterbury are getting robbed. And there ain't dick all anybody could do about it.
Nah, then we had a shit.
I could throw a tank if I wanted to, like...
Where'd you get a tank from in Canterbury?
They'd have to send a tank to stop me and I'd throw it.
If you say with great power comes great responsibility, I swear I'll throw up on you.
I think I'd like Mr. Incredible's power the most, to be honest. I would just love to be super strong.
Out of all of them...
Jack!
Nah, I'd take Violet's.
Really?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Only because she's got control over it, and I'd like to fucking throw force fields at people, like...
walking down the Canterbury High Street, just a force field around you, and people getting knocked. Like, the fuck?
Oh, that's brilliant. When we're walking together, put a force field on us, we'd never have to move out the way again.
She also throws them like bloody Destructo discs, doesn't she? Like Krillin's finishing move. Like, imagine slicing somebody in half with a force field. That'd be brutal.
Yeah, Violet's power was super cool.
She could start a force field in somebody's heart and just expand it and kill them, and nobody would know.
Yeah.
God damn, she could, couldn't she?
Yeah.
I actually felt like they were in proper danger. Like, I was in danger when we were watching the film, and all of the superheroes start ganging up on the kids in the house.
Oh,
as well.
yeah, the kids in Frozone in the house.
When she's got the force field around them to protect themselves from the lightning guy, and the other superhero who can like crush things starts crushing the force field in. I was like, oh my god, they're in actual danger.
It's the scream that Violet lets out where she's trying to be strong for everybody, and she realises, I can't. There's nothing I can do. I can't push my force field out anymore. We're all going to get crushed, and I'm the only one who can do anything. And then obviously Frozone comes along and everything's a bit better. But
love Frozone.
But it's that moment where she has to grab Dash back as well, because they've got the car. They're in the car. Frozone's been caught. It is them, and no one else is coming. No one else is coming. And Dash is trying to think, like, maybe we can go back for Lucius. Maybe we can call this person. And Violet's like, it's Dash. There's no one else. It's just us.
And the car.
And the car.
I liked that scene. That was one of my favourites. Just when it's just them and they're just kids and they know it. Yeah. And they feel so helpless, but they still do it. You know, they go out there and save the parents. Love it.
Yeah, it is lovely.
What did you think of the new superheroes as well?
Okay, I really like owls. But that owl guy was not cool. He was not cool. I didn't like him. I didn't like the Regurgitate guy. I didn't particularly like the Crusher guy. Void was interesting, but again, all of them were a bit weak and sat and like,
yeah,
meh.
they were.
Void was the only one who, when she had the goggles on and she was fighting Violet, I was like, okay.
Yeah, when she goes evil, she goes really savage.
Yeah.
Void was really cool. I liked Void. She had cool powers. She's like Portal come to life.
Yeah, I could see her coming back as in the third one as some sort of sidekick to either Violet or Elastigirl.
I think it's a shame she didn't get more character growth, because she seems really interesting, and I think when she becomes more sure of herself, she could be a really good ally.
Yeah, it's just a short film, not enough time to do all of that pap, you know. If it was a Marvel film, we'd have got pap on her. We probably would have got backstory and like origin stories and shit, you know. But luckily, we don't have to deal with that shit from a Pixar movie.
Yeah, we're not going to get a whole interconnected universe thing. Actually, we do, because Pixar films are all connected, apparently.
They are all based in the same universe.
But they're not all interconnected.
They're not all
interconnected to the same degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, Void was cool. I like how she acts really starstruck and nervous every time she talks to Elastigirl. I find that really relatable. It's one of those don't meet your hero things though, because every time she talks to her, she kind of blanks her.
She does, yeah. She was kept parring her off.
She didn't mean to though, because every time she came to talk to her, something shit happened, and she had to go deal with it.
Yeah, the second time she talks to her, she's trying to get some advice, but Elastigirl realizes that there's something unusual about that recording with Screenslaver, and she's like, yeah, will you excuse me one moment? And I was like, oh, poor Void.
Yeah, good talk, thank you.
Also, she says what her real name is. I'm fairly sure at one point she's like, hi, I'm Karen. I mean, Void. And she's like, oh, for God's sake, Void.
Yeah.
Come on.
So her name's Karen.
It's like, you're supposed to, it's meant to be your secret identity. Secret. And Violet taking her mask off at the start.
At the start of the film, yeah.
Yeah. That was stupid.
That was stupid.
Some of these people are really bad at hiding their secret identities. It's not good.
I did like, in the beginning, I was quite glad for Violet's change in, obviously we're talking about the Destructo disc things. It was cool that she could do that, because she couldn't do that in the first one, but she can do it in the second one, which means she's been developing it. Because I remember at first thinking, Violet, you should look after the baby, because Dash is fast and he can build a perimeter really quickly, when actually she was more helpful in that situation than Dash would have been. If only she could have put a force field around the digging thing and just lift it off the ground.
Took force field day.
I feel like until Jack becomes of a certain age...
Yeah, but she put it around the plane and then passed out.
Yeah, that's true.
Until Jack becomes of a certain age where he can actually join them in their adventures, Edna Mode just needs to babysit while they all work together to do the rest of it. Because they've all got all of their powers are really useful.
Well, of course, darling. He's smart. He's bright, and I'm what was it?
I'm a genius, was it? Or
No,
something?
I'm not on genius. I'm stimulating.
Yeah, stimulating.
He's
that was
bright,
it.
and I'm stimulating. We deserve each other.
And he like waves at her.
Yeah,
to
just
it.
darling.
They're both just walking down the hallway, like reflecting each other's walk. It was so.
He's
so
got
good.
his
It
own
was so
bloody
good.
eye scan, for Christ's sake. But to him, he's art to her now, isn't he?
It's when she does the Edna going into the secret lab thing. She puts his hand on it and holds him up to it, and then makes him speak into it,
And he
then
goes,
poses in a little smile
Yeah.
afterwards to him.
When she's like Edna mode, and
Yeah,
he's
he
like
goes,
"Blah,
"Blah,
blah, blah." Love Jack.
And when Helen has her new suit made by somebody else, I do remember turning to Tom being like, Edna's going to be pissed off. And then later, obviously, that all comes along when Bob turns up to just give her Jack, like, I can't do this anymore. And she's like, how dare you show your face around here? And, oh my god, it's worse than I thought. And he brings it in, and she's like, oh, I don't do babies. No, I don't do babies. And then Jack starts showing all these powers, and the first one is just turning into Edna, and she's like, I'll take him.
Oh my god,
Oh my
that
God.
was wacky.
Yes.
I
really
don't,
want
I don't
to-
babysit, darling.
He sneezes, fires himself up into the air. She like runs to catch him and dives,
And
and then
he
he just
holds-
stops in the air in front of her. She's like, oh my god.
Yes.
You know, with Elastigirl's new darker suit,
Yeah.
more darker, serious. I felt like that was. I might be overthinking this, but it felt like a very slight commentary on superhero films and when they get those darker, more edgy suits.
Maybe, because she was talking about that. She was like, I'm not emo, I'm not gothic, I'm Elastigirl, you know, I'm flexible.
Like, it's not apparent, but it does feel like a bit of a little dig at DC a little bit, or X-Men, you know,
Good,
trying to make
fuck
their
DC.
darker suits. It's like sometimes. I mean, I get that we can't have the yellow and blue Wolverine spandex suit sometimes, but
No, yeah, honestly, it's could you imagine Hugh Jackman in that suit?
oh god,
He'd look
I'd
beautiful.
love it. I'd love it so much, but it wouldn't work. But I'd love it so much.
It's her only descriptive about herself.
flexible.
I'm flexible. I bet you fucking are.
She's got really cool powers. I loved the bike scene. Just when the bike detaches and then she
Yeah.
becomes longer. That was really cool.
Very creative use of her powers.
It was actually really exciting. Like, all the action scenes were really exciting.
That motorbike scene was like the Black Widow motorbike scene in Age of Ultron, except it was a lot cooler.
Yeah. I liked it though. All the action scenes were really exciting. They were really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, the very last 10 minutes or so were a bit disappointing. Like, everything kind of wraps up really easily. Just everyone getting their goggles off.
They didn't really leave it like they did last time with the behold the Underminer. Like this time was just like, oh, they're rushing off to go and do a shooting.
You say
Like,
you say the end of this was weak, right? Do you not remember the end of the first one?
Yeah, I just said it.
No. Before, like, because they do the end the big like action sequence, and then they do a little filler afterwards, right? Which was the behold the Underminer bit. But where the actual threat ended in the first film was bloody Syndrome getting his cape stuck in a plane and getting sucked into it. That's how he got defeated.
Yeah.
By getting sucked into a plane.
Oh, but I liked it. Just
But
because
it's-
Jack outdid him,
it's-
and then he died being a clumsy twat.
It's as weak of a like, oh, this is how the problem got solved, as it was in the first one.
No, I disagree, because the ending to this one, the point I'm talking about, is more like the end of the last one when they defeat the giant ball monster thing, metal monster. I feel like it's more like that part of the ending. You know, like, that's the big threat that they have to stop, and in
Right.
this one the big threat is stopping all the superheroes with their mind control goggles, which they just do so easily.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Helen gets hers off, the rest of them are just
They are
easy
all
pickings.
they are all shit tier superheroes. The rest of them, if we're being honest, right? Like, Syndrome killed all the last ones, so
I think even the villain, Evelyn, was a bit surprised at how easy it was, because she's just looking at all the screens and they're slowly all just blacking out, and it's like, oh shit, this has not gone to plan. This is not what I wanted.
No capes. Meta Man, Express Elevator, Diner Guy, Snag on Takeoff, Splashdown, sucked into a vortex. No capes.
Shall we give this film our ratings?
yes.
Cool.
Good point. I forgot
We haven't
about
spoke about this, so this is going to be all
Yeah.
new and surprising. Do you want to go first, Tom?
I am going to go with the highest rating I think I've given so far. I'm going to give it a 9. Really good film. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was short as well, which I fucking love. I hate really long movies, and we've only gone to see really long movies recently. Only thing for me that wasn't so great about it is that it's essentially the same story arc as the first film. You know, it's been 15 years, so I imagine it's probably fresh for most children watching it nowadays. But for me, it's like, oh, okay, it was just, you know, Incredibles 1 with a few differences and a lot better graphics. But it was
Okay.
still really fucking good. So
that's why it doesn't get a 10. Just
doesn't get a 10 because of
similarity.
similarities to the first film. Too similar.
That's fair enough. Eleanor?
I'm going to give it a 9 as well. It was nostalgic, it was funny, it was adult at the same time, so it did have that tip to the hat of everybody who had watched it originally for us when we were younger, and how we've still come back because we loved it. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay. Before you guys said your 9s, I was also going to give it a 9.
Oh,
Because
9's all round!
a 9 out of 10 from the What's On team. It's really exciting and dramatic and cool. The only reason I don't give it a 10 is because of the predictability of the plot.
yeah.
I agree,
And
yeah. That's...
we all knew that Evelyn was going to be the bad guy. It was so obvious.
From the moment she was like, oh wow, these cameras, they're so amazing. And she's like, oh, I designed them myself. I was like, well, you're clearly the person who's hacking all the technology.
Yeah,
There's
someone's
only one
hacking.
good guy two good guys that are good with technology, and both of them are pretty not good either. Batman and fucking Iron Man.
If there's any humans that are good with technology in The Incredibles, they're going to be a villain.
Yeah.
It's always going to
That's
happen.
the trope.
So it was a little predictable, and like Tom said, it kind of borrows a lot of the same sort of plot points from the first film, in which, well, pretty much what Tom said, really.
Yeah.
I'm not going to repeat it. That wouldn't be fun to listen to.
I mean, I still think that's got to be the highest score, right?
Yeah,
that
you've
we've
given, yeah.
No, that all of us have given.
Yeah, ever since we've
That's-
started giving ratings since Ant-Man, this is the highest one we've given so far.
So far, Incredibles 2, best film we've seen.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. You can message us on whatsonpodcast@outlook.com, or we're on Twitter at whatson_podcast.
Do we have a tweet?
Sometimes, not very often. I
I'll
occasionally
download
tweet.
it and I'll start tweeting just for that.
And yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, rate us, and all that jazz, and we will get back to any comments we see. So thank you very much. We are the What's On team, and we will see you next week. Bye.
See ya!
Bye.